Hey you! So today we have the new White Ranger Figuarts, which is very similar to the Red and Green Ranger that basically have heads. So we're going to see if it looks exactly like Jason, David, Frank, or Tommy, should I say. But the box is slightly different than the others. I was having a look back over of the green and red, and they're the same. I didn't really notice. But when we look here, we can see that there are other Rangers all around. It says like you've got the power 25th, you've got a small window display. It says Tamashii Nation's quality. Oh, quality. A lovely picture of the White Ranger. We've got the logo there, a blue Bandai. So on this side, we have White Ranger. On the back, this is the poses you can have him in, which is pretty much the same ones we've had previously. We've got loads more like Ranger kind of designs, which I kind of like. You've got the power 25, says it at the top, and then it has a lovely picture of the White Ranger. So let's open up this bad boy and have a look inside. And here is Tommy straight out of the box. I've got to admit, I'm quite impressed with the color, the way that this figure is. Now, looking at the promotional side, the whiteness around here is really white, but when you look at the box, it's actually kind of very similar to what the original was, which is kind of dirty white or kind of a pearl white. But I've got to admit, the helmet effect looks really cool, and then obviously with the light, the gold is really kind of popping, and I really like this. I really like the chest coin here. It really stands out, and I really like the kind of the gold trim. It really does kind of work well. And then when you look at the black and the gold, it, for some strange reason, it really works, and I really like the color. The hair looks absolutely fine, and this one looks a lot like Lord Draken than I would say Tommy, just because the eyes are quite dark around his kind of eyeball. So basically it's the sockets near the even his like eyebrows, and the hair is very similar to it. So it looks kind of cool. Again, Tommy having an earring, what the hell, man, what the hell. But glad they've got that on there. That's really kind of cool. But what the hell. So then you've got the gold kind of trim around his armbands, and then you've got the kind of joints. They look like they're kind of popping out a little bit, but I think they're fine. And then the kind of gold trim works really well going around. I really like here the kind of, just like the slacks, whatever they're called, the panels. But although I can notice, I don't know if it's on multiple ones, but I can, maybe it's the light, I don't know. But it looks like that's where they started painting. And actually kind of looking around at the top, that's a very kind of messy gold. I'll try and include a picture, but I can see that there's a lot kind of like very bad blemish. That is not good. If it's quality tested by Tamashii Nation, that's actually quite bad. But I've also got to point out the belt as well looks really kind of cool. I completely forgot about that, but the belt adds in a little bit, and then the top of the holster. As I said before, we've got kind of the holster there. It looks a little kind of bent a little bit. I don't know if it's just the way that the figure is. Here I wouldn't say is the best, because it looks like a chunk's been taken out, which looks kind of bad, and there's some tiny bubbles about. Again, quality tested. You've got the holster, which looks absolutely fine, and then the white of the legs is good. You can see the knee joints here, and the top of the kind of like cuffs for boots, boot cuffs, I don't know. And then when coming down to the kind of bottom part, I didn't really notice, but you can see there's some sort of, you can't see because of the white, but take my word for it, there is some sort of kind of like markings, as in like it's ruffled. It feels like the boots here falling down, maybe that's the thing. Just there, they've not, but if it looks like it is. And then you've got some ruffles here, as well as the kind of like normal stuff you've got on the boots. You know, like most figures, it shows you where the leather is, where they've sewn it together. So looking at the reverse, we can see that there's some leather markings here, which is fine. The ball joints look a little bit kind of off, and I don't kind of like that. So we see how it is when it comes to testing. And then when we look here, we've got the kind of the joints that I'm not a huge fan of, but they look okay. Hopefully in the stress test we'll see what it's like. So as we come here, we can see there's more of the gauntlets. You've got the kind of square thing at the back which holds the buckle, so you don't see it on the show. And then we've got the really nice kind of black and gold on the shield, which works really well. And we can see here and here that the arms are designed to have like kind of ruffles, like he was wearing spandex and it wasn't that tight. Again, it doesn't look too bad. And then at the top part, we've got Tommy's classic hair. We can see that it's all kind of linking in, like he's wearing like kind of a bobble or something like that to keep his hair like that. One thing I have noticed, again, quality tested, is here is the kind of the head. The hair looks like it's just been forced on, so it looks like you could probably take the faceplate off, but I really don't like that. That's a very messy sculpt, so I'll be taking a few photos and actually emailing Tamashii Nation. So with all figures, we do a stress test, so let's have a look how the figure is. So the boots kind of move fine. The toe was a little bit stiff there. Now let's bend the leg there. Looks absolutely fine there. The leg isn't that bad. Feels a tiny bit loose there. Let's now do the arms. Arms are fine. Hand articulation is good. Arms like that's fine. These move, that's cool. Just like that, that moves. Turn the hand. Not that bad. Bends okay, so bends that way. It's a bit stiff around the arms. Could be a tiny bit better, but actually no, it's not too bad actually. And then let's do the test of, can you turn his head around? Nope, you pretty much can't turn it all the way around. So it's restricted due to the hair. So once you do that, you kind of can't. So it makes it hard for it to be posed in the right way, which I find that a little bit kind of like, oh, because you know, you'd obviously want Tommy looking up that way or that way. So I'm very kind of gutted that you can't move the head around that one, but we're going to try it with the White Ranger helmet and see what you can do with that. Let's try taking off the helmet, or the head should I say. Oh, that's actually quite stiff. I'll put the White Ranger helmet on. Okay, so it looks very weird, so you can do that with the helmet at least. So you can, it looks very weird. Like that is, it shouldn't look like that. I don't think the original did when posing. So I might have to go back and look at that video, just see how it is with the head. Like it looks really like, it feels like it should be a little bit further down. I don't like that at all. Like making him look up that way just feels very, just like very out of proportion. I'd rather that go click. I mean, that's not coming off. I really wish it could go down a little bit more, so that when you're able to move it, it's absolutely fine. So it just looks a bit kind of weird on that one, I think. I'm not a big fan of that. When looking at Saba, I've got to admit, it looks pretty cool. I really like the detail, so it's pretty much exactly the same as what you got last time. You can see the red eyes, you see the gold, you see the White Ranger symbol, or the tiger coin. And then obviously you get kind of a extended blade. So basically all you do is just pull that off, add this in, and bam, there you go. That's another one. So I love the detail. The gold and the white work really, really well. And then obviously you can hold them like that. And then if you want to kind of have the shorter blade, if you want to add it to the White Ranger, so you basically can just go like that. And then attach it to there, and there you go. So you've got Saba just straight underneath the belt, and there we go. So he looks kind of cool. I've swapped heads with the Green Ranger as well as the White Ranger, so you can see that there's kind of a little bit there. So it kind of looks a little bit weird with his head here, but it looks more natural with his long hair there. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's just it doesn't really work well. I don't know what it is with that head and that body. It just seems very out proportioned. But when you have that hair, it looks really kind of cool on the Green Ranger. I've also added Jason's head. Even looking at it that way from the side, it's just really weird. So I don't know if the helmet or the body of the Ranger was designed for this particular one. Because obviously people are going to change around the heads. So I generally thought that this was pretty cool. But again, you've got a bit of gap there. But from the side, from the front, you can't really tell. So yeah, it's not that bad. But I thought I would just add in Jason just for the fun of it. So there we go, Rangers. There is Tommy, the White Ranger Figuarts. I've got to admit, this is not what I thought it was. I thought this would be slightly better considering how long the previous one had been out. So maybe they kind of adjusted it, made it look a bit better. One thing that I have found is that you only got like 4 hands extra with him, which I think that was a bit kind of weird compared to where the others have got so many more hands. But obviously you can mix and match. One thing that I wasn't a big fan of was obviously the blemish that was on one of his shoulder parts, and then obviously with the head, the way that it was a very bad kind of sculpt, and you can even see the glue on the top, which I don't really like, to be honest. I think there could have been a lot more done with this figure, especially with over time. More hands, something decent at least, and obviously then maybe change the sculpt. The helmet doesn't look right on the body. When you got a pose like this, it's absolutely fine, but I think in theory they could have made it a lot better. But again, I think they just had a load of old molds that they just basically filled up and thought, you know what, we can release this. So this is not obviously my favorite figure, and I think so far I've been kind of let down with this line. Yes, it's nice to have the Rangers again, but again, I think for the prices that they're asking, it's not worth it. This was around about £58, considering on some websites he goes for 60, 70. So in my opinion, not the best. But yeah, it's up to you guys. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this, Rangers? Do you like him? Do you not? Would you get him? Would you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more videos, because I will be dropping. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.